Hey there, it's Vicki Marie, and today I wanted to just chat with you a little bit about something that I've been grappling with here lately, and that is life purpose. If you guys want to have this conversation, stick around and let's chat. So I think many of us are feeling like the rug has just been pulled out from under us. I know I have. Like there's so many things that I thought I would be working on right now in my life that it just isn't possible to do those things right now. And it's okay. It's okay. We have to start moving forward from where we are right now. We can't move forward from a place that we were in the past or where we think we should be right now. And when we're stuck like that, we can't move forward. You can't move forward when you are when you're not sure of where you're at. So I decided to. Well, I was having a conversation with a friend earlier, and she was kind of struggling with the same thing. So I pulled out some of my old coaching forms, and I decided to go through this form with the two of us just for fun. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this here on my channel as well. So it's been a while since I pulled out an old coaching form. Uh, I used to use these all the time with my clients, but let's just jump into this today. So, whenever I used to have a client come to me and say, I'm trying to discover what my life purpose is, uh, these are the questions I would ask them, or a sample of the questions I would ask them. And they're pretty powerful questions if you really do take the time to absorb them and answer from an authentic place, like really get real with yourself. One of the things that really helps me to do this is journaling. So I actually did sit down this morning and I journaled some of my answers. And so if you guys are interested in really taking these in and getting the most out of these questions, the best value out of them, I would suggest that you either have someone to talk to about these or you journal about them. So question number one is, what are you most proud of accomplishing at this point in your life? One of the things that I'm most proud of accomplishing is raising my two kids. I am very proud of that. I always felt like that was my vocation, was to raise my kids. I am so proud of them. But I know I didn't do it by myself. I had lots of help. My husband, definitely my partner in life and in raising our kids, had a lot to do with that, and so did my family, our in-laws, our extended family, and teachers. And I mean, it really was a team effort. So I can't take all the credit there, but I am very proud of what I was able to provide my kids. So that is one thing I'm very proud of. Another thing that I'm very proud of is that I know that I have always stepped up in our community and in my profession and looked for ways that I could serve and make a contribution. But it is important for me to have that connection with community, and I think that's why I have my YouTube channel, to keep that connection alive for me. The second question I would ask anybody who is trying to figure out what your life purpose is this: if you were able to retire 1 year from now, what would you begin to work on? What would you be working on, and what would you be preparing for? And when I think about that, it's really hard for me to imagine. Although I'm semi-retired, I do work part-time, but I'm also contemplating probably working more in the coming years because my husband's not ready to retire. So I am looking for what I want to work on in these coming years, where I want to put my time and my energy, what's most important to me, which I think is why this conversation is so important to me personally. The third question is, what would I want the people at my funeral to say about me? There's a lot of things I could say about that, but I am going to be taking that question into my journal and do a little more work with that because, when all is said and done, what is it that you want people to remember you for? What is your legacy that you're leaving? Do you want to be known for the type of person that you are, for how you showed up, for what you were able to accomplish? Everybody will answer that question differently, and the way that you answer it says a lot about what you feel your purpose is. It is really good to be specific about that as well. Like, I know that I do want people to think of me as a nice person. It's more than just that. What does that mean? And sometimes maybe Is it possible that we can be too nice? Like we're so concerned about being nice that we don't really make the impact that we want to make. Being proud of what you do is one thing. Like if you're really proud of what you do, like I hope that, I hope that my kids will be proud of their mother. I want to be proud of where I've put my time and energy and the projects I've worked on. In a lot of ways, I am very proud of the type of person that I've been able to show up as, even when things got difficult. But being proud is one thing. That has more to do with how you feel about your own work and how you show up. Vanity is being more concerned about what other people think of you. So that's the litmus test that I always walk myself through when I'm starting to feel like, when I hear that, I have this little voice in my head that says, you're getting too big for your britches. That's an old voice that comes from my childhood. It's something that somebody used to say to me, you don't get too big for your britches, Vicki Marie. That was a parent. And I think a lot of times that happens to us. And it's really good to notice and be self-aware, like really become aware of when those voices are not serving us, and are those really our voices that we're hearing, or is it something that somebody else put upon us? Another question to ask yourself when you want to identify what you feel your purpose is: who in history do you respect? Who do you admire? I think that's a very insightful question. So I will be taking a closer look at that in the next week or so. You really got to think about why you admire that person as well. Like, what is it about them that you admire? Is it the way that they present themselves, their mannerism? Is it their attitude? Is it how they treat others? There's so many things that you can admire in another person. When I think about some of the people close to me in my life, not famous history, not famous people in history, but people who were in my history, I admire those people who worked hard, took the time to research and educate themselves, who didn't get caught up in what everybody else thought that they should do or should be, that they were able to tap in to and tune in to who they are and find their own authentic voice. And that's not easy to do. That takes a lot of courage. And those are the people that I admire. The next question is, if you could solve a world problem, what would it be? And be very specific. And that's an interesting question in this day and age. It certainly felt different years ago when I used to ask this question a lot in my work. And now I really haven't visited that question it's been several years. So I'm wondering, what problem would I solve? What's sort of obvious right now, which one I would go after, the white elephant. But I don't have the skill set to do that. What is it that I can do to make a difference? The next question is, what inkling do you have about what your life purpose is? What's interesting about this question is sometimes we think, that intuition is about knowing something, like that your inner knowing, and some people think that that's a woo-woo kind of question, but intuition is something that is very practical. Doctors and scientists use it all the time. It's because they have such a strong knowledge base. They have learned and studied for so many years that they can trust their intuition when it comes to making quick, fast decisions. Some people call it instinct. It goes, I think, beyond instinct, though, because it's beyond just surviving. It's more about, I think intuition is more about thriving, or instinct is more about surviving. I think we need them both. There's something else that's a little more subtle than what we would call intuition, and that's inkling. That's when you have this sort of nagging feeling that there's something that might be true, but you're not, you don't trust yourself. You're really not quite ready to trust that. And so you keep looking outside of yourself for the answers and the direction and the wisdom, when really there is a part of you, a voice within, that is sort of whispering in your ear, and you sort of have this inkling about what it is that you're all about. What is your purpose? And so oftentimes when you are able to trust that and you take some action, a lot of times it will steer you in the right direction. So what is it that what is the inkling that you have about what your purpose is? So whatever that inkling is, if you knew, let's pretend that you knew, even if you feel like you don't. What if you did know? What would that be? Like, just let yourself play around with this whole idea of the fact that you possibly very well could know what your purpose is, and you just haven't been able to or willing to say it. And the next question is, what is in the way of you putting that first, rather ahead of what you are currently doing? Like, what is in the way? Oftentimes it's a job that you have that you feel, okay, I have this job, I have this family, I can't, that's more important right now than my life purpose. But I think that's because people get confused about what a life purpose is. It's not a certain job that is your purpose. Your purpose will support whatever job you are in or whatever vocation you are fulfilling. That your purpose will support that. It's not that you have to leave your current job or go put yourself in a whole different environment in order to fulfill your purpose. A purpose will always be able to be fulfilled wherever you are. It's something you take with you because it's innate. It comes from within. And my most favorite and final, this is a final question, but it's my favorite question. What if it wasn't even important to have a life purpose at all? If that was the case, and you could just put that aside and stop trying to figure out what your life purpose is, what would you most like to do in the next decade? How would you spend your time? So that is what I'm working on this morning in my journal, and I had that conversation over coffee with a friend this morning, and it was amazing, just where that led it. Those types of questions lead you down rabbit holes, if you will, and I just love that. I feel like Alice in Wonderland sometimes when we are engaged in that type of, that level of questioning. So, all right, guys, I just thought I'd take you along with me this morning, down the rabbit hole, if you will. If you are still with me at the end of this video, I want to thank you so much for just joining me in today's conversation. If you like videos like this, do let me know. I am looking at how to provide the best content here on my channel, that happy place between what I love to do and what you want to watch. So that's what I'm doing right now, all about self-discovery in my own personal life and on my channel. And I will continue to vlog my journey. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.